Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Please let us take a moment to just appreciate the fact that these curls be popping after wash day. I'm proud of these. I finally set aside the time to like sit down and do my hair. Like of course there's still like 2-week-old laundry back there that's been ignored, and then another basket of laundry that's been like 3 weeks of ignored laundry that needs to be put away. I got problems. Those are just a few of the things on my impossible task list, but the hair got completed and I'm really happy with it. So I am just kind of gonna try my best, but I'm not here to talk about my impossible tasks or my laundry. I am actually here to talk about my body. I've posted like try on hauls and I don't really kind of like shy away from like the whole like full body picture thing, or like I don't shy away from like my health struggles or this and that. And it's actually something that I get a lot of requests for. So I do get a lot of people who ask me to kind of talk about like body positivity, or they want me to talk about like how I get my confidence and things like that. So basically I haven't like done like an in-depth video, like a consistent like series or anything before on this. So that's basically what this is. I'm gonna try and consistently kind of tackle these topics more, and I want to talk about like building confidence and talk about my struggles and this and that, and I want to talk about like finding clothing, or like I do want to talk about weight loss. I want to talk about maybe stigmas and things like that. I do want to cover all of that. Basically anything that has to do with like being fat and just kind of like the day-to-day, and just ways to improve your experience based on things that I probably have done to like either boost my own confidence or my own day-to-day. And that's kind of like my first straight up disclaimer here. I have a lot of bullet points off to the side, so I'm going to be glancing over a lot to keep me on task, but also I just want to, I had very like specific things I want to get through, so I want to make sure I stay on task. And that first thing is that I know that some people like dislike that language, like the word fat, etc. And when you're here watching these videos, like for me, I am going to say like, oh, fat girl struggle, like fat girl wins, or this and that. Like I do say that word. It's a word that I use to describe myself. And it's one of those things where it's like I'm not fishing for anyone to change like a way that I think or talk about myself based on a single word, or I just want to be able to describe my body the way that I want to describe it. And, whether somebody uses that word, whether somebody uses like fat or curvy or plus size, or even if they want to use like obese or whatever it is, I think that's like one of my overarching themes, is that like, I wish before defaulting to correcting people, we would ask how do they feel about it first, or like understand where they're coming from first, and without like putting our own things onto them. So like it's one thing where like somebody may say it in a specific tone that worries you, or you want to help with their self-image or something like that, and I think that's good. I understand that, but because there's, no matter what size you are currently, whether you get bigger or smaller, like no matter what happens, like you should be respected. You are supposed to, like you should be receiving love and support, and, the day-to-day in and out, just like feeling that you can, exist without there always having to be like an and or a but at the end of that. And I know that some people more than others might feel the drag of that in their day in and day outs, and there's just like, there is a consistent issue that different people at different sizes may feel, or, different people that surround them, they may feel, and just the day in, day outs of society. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just tired of people forcing their descriptors of me, like, onto me. So, like, even though, like, almost worse than that is when somebody kind of, like, hijacks the, like, conversation and they turn it into pouring out compliments or, like, having caveats to what I've said. So, like, they're like, oh, you're beautiful, you're curvy, like, no, you're not fat, you're just plus size, or like, okay, it's something that you're working on, or like, okay, but like, you're not like 600, 700 pounds. And it's just like, to me, that's just really fucking rude. Those caveats and comparisons that people like bring up, that's somebody else's like day-to-day struggle. So it's just kind of like, don't do that to other people. Like, don't, casually disrespect other people just to make the person in front of you feel better, that kind of stuff. I just think that everybody should examine like their own discomforts and why they're uncomfortable. And, if you are constantly finding yourself comparing or feeling guilty or, making assumptions that either lead you to over-policing other people, or it feels like you yourself are constantly kind of triggered into your own struggles, that I just hope that everyone can kind of come to a ground level where you can, reflect and think about it and, wonder about the whys. Like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I need to police this other person? Or why do I feel like, what is that negativity that's in there? That's like, why is it making me uncomfortable? Because it's just really important to like self-reflect and do that work on yourself. And that is very much a foundation for confidence as well. And, it's not like, I don't say this because I'm like perfect at this stuff. I still say sometimes like, oh, I'm fat, and I'm saying it in like a negative way, or, a tone that comes from, a lifelong struggle of like beating myself up for it, or like, I don't say it because I want everyone to realize that your words do matter and the way that you talk about things matters. But also, just for me, like the word fat and other things like it are just not something that personally I'm trying to run from anymore. And, when it comes to like the way that you talk about yourself or about other people, we'll talk about, that more in depth in future videos. But, at the same time, that's also not vocabulary that I'm going to assume upon somebody else. Like, if I'm describing someone else, I always want to refer to people the way they tell me they want to be referred to, whether that's a name or a pronoun or any other descriptor, and or anything else about their identity that they want me to know and hold on to that describes them. So like, that's kind of all where it comes down to, basically. But I also, hit my keyboard. I also want to be fully upfront that I just haven't like particularly followed like the body positivity movement in depth or like over time. So like, I know kind of like some of the core history of it when it comes to like, oh, the 1967 sit-ins in Central Park, or like the fat liberation movements and stuff, and a lot of it being spearheaded by black and brown women and queer women. And it's just one of those things where if I pull back and think about how commercialized it is today, I don't really see myself there. And it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like I get this comparison a lot, or I get this, like, people bring this up a lot if I talk about this topic, where it's like, oh, but like Lizzo or this and that, and I'm just like, Lizzo is fantastic, like, but her doing her thing that's not enough for me, and I'm happy to see her and other people like her continuously like doing their thing and creating their spaces, and seeing more people find like new movements and new confidence through that kind of through their paths, and like seeing themselves reflected in them. That is very valuable, and something that I hope continues to happen. But it also is just like, I don't know, there's still kind of like just my day-to-day interactions with people, the reality that it's still not as forward moving as I would hope that it would be by now, considering like the history of it. But then, that's a whole conversation to have about the why, because I am just going to venture a guess that a lot of people who would have been considered in the loop at the beginning of these movements do not see themselves reflected in it, in like the more commercialized and widespread version of it. So, and I feel like I have found that I felt that same way about many movements, whether it is like, this fat liberation stuff, or whether it is like LGBTQIA plus, or, all of that. Every time, with growth and, people starting to get down certain basics and this and that, a lot of the outliers or, people who always have to go up against like racism or this and that, they get left in the dust or get left in behind, or it's an afterthought, or people who are super vocal aren't like confronting their own biases, like outside of, whatever grouping they're fighting for, and seeing how people layer and intersect like within that. So that's why you get a lot of people who, like me, feel like they're on the outside of some of these movements and don't really see themselves in them. And, it's a reason, like, for all of those reasons, it's kind of like why I've switched my mindset and my goal to being more about body neutrality versus like body positivity. And I'm just tired of overthinking like my body and like the space I take up and how I exist. And I also at the same time within that want to acknowledge that it's like, this is not a healthy body. Like, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing for it. So to do the things that it's supposed to do. So like, while I have worked to get myself to a place where I am just like wanting to be happy and find fulfillment, and stay out of the certain like echoes of the dark spaces in my head, and find happiness whatever like weight or wherever I'm at. Try to find those moments of just being able to exist and find ways to thrive and work on things, even if I'm not at 100% every day, or at any whatever size I may be. I just want to like still find ways to enjoy life, even if I'm not 100% happy with where I'm at. And I still want to keep my mental and physical health in mind while I do that, and to kind of stay open to the fact that there are just things about my physical and mental health that are directly tied to my weight, and is something that I would have to work on and figure out, and continue to do and undo and find out for myself. And all of those things to me is what starts kind of paving the way to stronger confidence. And I hope kind of to outline it in different categories as we move forward. Like I said, I'm going to keep putting out videos on this topic. This is kind of just like an intro. And, the whole point is that I know I don't always see myself in these movements, and it doesn't mean that you can't kind of still look through them and find the things that, apply well to you, and kind of move on with that. That's what I try to do. So if in my process of doing that and like trial and errors, I can come here and talk to you guys and help you guys find some of those things, or, feel seen or feel, heard, or, safe to talk about these things here. You know, that's the point. That's why I do just about anything. So I just, you know, that's something that'll make me happy about doing the series and talking about this stuff. And, you know, at that flip side of that is why I want to be very clear that I'm just sharing my experience and some of the things that I find along the way or things that I've considered along the way. These are not meant to be like instructional videos, and I will be kind of like talking about my body or my measurements or my weight and stuff, but this is not something where I'm going like day by day or like, you know, regular updates where it's like, oh, here's my specific routine that I did, or, you know, this is the diet that I did, or this is how many pounds I am, and this is how many inches and stuff I've lost week to week. Like, that's not my thing. I can't, nope, that just overwhelms me already. I'm not putting that on anyone else. I cannot keep up with that. I don't know how you guys are with that. That is not the way that's not the path that I have taken to find, you know, confidence and the ability to kind of move forward into things like exercise and, you know, switching up the diet and moderation and this and that, you know. So I still want to like touch on those things, but this is not about that. And, for like above all things, I am not qualified to like tell you what to do like with your body or for weight loss or anything like that. I can't give you any suggestions. I can't give you any like diagnosis in a way where I feel like it would be okay for me to do that. Like, no, 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 I couldn't do that. But I do want to help, you know, people feel like they can start talking about it and looking things up about it. Like, do your research, you know, consult your physician, all that kind of stuff, you know. I know that there is kind of like a lot of anxiety and stuff that comes with that. And, you know, it's not free, like gym memberships, this and that, you know, going to a doctor, going to, you know, a dietitian and this and that. Like, it can add up. And, you know, all insurance ain't created equal in the way that, you know, this stuff, sometimes it doesn't get addressed until you already have certain issues, which is something that has happened in my case. So it's one of those things where it's like, I just want to encourage people to consider yourself and, you know, consider your mental health and consider your physical health and, you know, the other things that you can do, whether it be about your appearance or this and that along the way that can help. And, you know, it's all just taking things into consideration, taking things into certain moderation, and trying to do things in a healthy way that are kind of like little things over time instead of huge, big, drastic changes. And I just want to create like a good dialogue about it, and I hope that you guys will, you know, come through and have a good time and feel okay with like leaving your struggles down in the comments or, you know, triumphs down in the comments. Like, I want to be able to talk about all those things with you guys. So like I said, in future videos, we're going to cover things like fashion and body types, and, you know, I'll take my measurements and talk about, you know, things about my personal health and mental health and, you know, the struggles that come with that, or the, you know, the struggles that come with like weight loss, and just kind of relieve some of the pressure that you might deal with day in and day out. And, you know, we'll try on some clothes, and I'll take you guys to a store with me and talk about how I look for clothes or do this and that. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it here today. This is supposed to just be kind of an intro. I know, well, I can't even say like, I know this is kind of long. I usually talk for like up to 25 minutes anyway. So, but expect these to be like these 20-minute videos and talks, so that we can have a dialogue. So please let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to focus in on, and I'll try to do my best. Maybe some videos will just have like a part, you know, a few different parts to them. or if you guys want me to bring in or look up some more of the history and stuff, eventually I will kind of work on something like that. So just let me know and I will do what I can. But like I said, this is mostly about just my personal experience and bringing you guys also along for the ride in some of the next steps I'm taking, and, you know, talking to you about some of the like steps that I didn't talk about or like that were on the way just to get to where I'm at now. So I hope that I can help anybody. Please leave comments down below to let me know what you guys are thinking. If you like what I do on this channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.